Hello, Hobby Farm Guy Brian here. A lot of you have been asking about the old videos from our old channel and whether they'd be available here on the new channel. Unfortunately, we don't have those edited videos available to us, but we do have the raw footage. So we're going to be re-editing many of your favorites and re-uploading them here to this channel. And here's the first of them.
Hey everyone, as more and more people join the ranks of hobby farmers and homesteaders, interest in miniatures, or smaller versions of larger animals, continues to rise. Keeping miniature animals has a lot of advantages for the hobby farmer or homesteader, but it can introduce some challenges as well.
Miniatures are available in many farmyard animals: cows, goats, chickens, even sheep, pigs, and horses. In today's video, we'll discuss 5 pros and cons of miniatures and take a look at some of your options for adding miniatures to your place. We're the Hobby Farm Guys. Don't go away. Miniature Breeds for Hobby Farms is up next.
You've no doubt heard the phrase, size matters, and when it comes to livestock or pets for the hobby farm or homestead, it holds true. The size of the animal matters. It will dictate housing space requirements and stocking rates. It will influence feed budgets, and it plays a role in how easily that animal can be handled and moved.
Right. Sometimes we may not have the space to raise a cow on pasture, or maybe we lack the freezer space to handle the quantity of cuts that come from a full-size cow. There are a number of reasons people opt for miniature animals, and miniatures bring some great benefits to the table.
And the first pro we'll mention is the smaller spaces needed to raise miniature breeds. This is probably the most common reason people look to miniature breeds. It can vary depending upon your setup and the particular animal, but generally you can raise 2 or 3 miniature animals in the space normally required to house a single large animal.
That means you could get 10 chickens instead of 4, or 5 cows instead of 2. This opens the door to keeping more variety as well. Instead of dedicating your entire acre to pasture for a cow, you may split it and keep not only a miniature cow, but a few goats and a pig as well.
And pro number 2 is related. Miniatures come with a lower feed cost. Cows, for example, will eat around 2 to 3% of their body weight in hay each day over the winter. So, a cow that weighs 500 pounds eats less than half the hay a 1,200-pound cow goes through each day. While a larger animal will produce a larger carcass, a smaller animal can get by on much less feed, an important consideration if your forage or feed budget is limited.
The third benefit of miniature animals is that they're easier to handle. First off, while miniature animals will still require fencing to keep them contained, it needn't be as tall or as strong as fencing for full-sized animals. This results in savings in both cost and labor. Also, chutes or other equipment may not be necessary. In general, smaller animals are easier to move, catch, and provide routine care for.
And let's not forget the fear factor. It can be intimidating for many people to walk up to and work with full-size animals. Cows and horses can be tall and massive. I speak from experience when I tell you a 500-pound hog is stronger than you, and if it comes to a shoving match, the hog wins every time. Additionally, smaller animals means coops and other housing can be built smaller, and miniature animals are easier to transport, often in crates rather than large stock trailers, saving you money and hassle.
Next, miniatures are well suited for home-sized production. Maybe you want to get a dairy cow to produce your own milk and dairy products. A typical cow can give 6 to 7 gallons of milk every day. Many hobby farmers and homesteaders can't or don't want to deal with that much. The same is true when butchering an animal for the freezer. Miniatures provide smaller, more easily managed quantities.
And the fifth benefit of miniatures is that they can be fun, adorable, and unique. You haven't seen cuteness until you've seen some of these miniature breeds. Eye catchers, they can help you and your farm stand out. But this also becomes our first con.
Some people have a hard time butchering animals that are cute. If you want to get a meat cow, but also tend to fall in love with and want to snuggle cute furries, you may run into problems when it's time to turn your cute fuzzy pet into burgers. Also along these lines, yes, the animals are smaller and often adorable, but they can still be dangerous. People can underestimate the strength of miniature animals because they look so cute and cuddly. Be aware they're still animals and they need to be treated with appropriate respect.
The next con on miniatures is that they can be harder to find, and as a result, more expensive to purchase. In many cases, miniature animals are treated and priced more like exotic animals than livestock. This can make both buying and selling more difficult. Prices on miniature breeds and exotics are far more fluid and not as stable as the prices at the livestock auction you see for standard breeds.
Contributing to this price fluidity is the next con with miniatures, the fad factor. Often people see the prices being charged and hear the buzz of excitement surrounding these breeds and purchase animals thinking they'll breed them, sell the offspring, and recoup their investment, only to discover that so too did a lot of other people. And now there are 6 breeders in your area instead of just 1.
Yep, supply and demand. This can mean that you may not be able to sell animals for what you thought you'd be able to get due to a greater supply being available. On the opposite side, demand for these breeds can evaporate quickly when the next new thing comes along. Whereas a butcher hog or a steer may be a fairly set price in your market, prices of miniature breeds are often far more volatile.
Also, keep in mind if you do intend to breed animals, you need to find 2 miniatures. Finding unrelated breeding quality animals can be challenging and expensive for uncommon breeds. Miniature livestock shouldn't be crossed with standard size breeds. This can make it harder and more expensive to get your miniature breeds bred.
The next con to miniatures is that despite their cuteness overload, as a rule, miniatures are far more vulnerable. Where a dog, coyote, or other predator may ignore a full-size breed, it may view your miniature as dinner. Also, keep in mind that if you're housing animals in the same pasture, mini breeds can be seriously injured by larger animals while playing or fighting.
And con number 5 deals with genetic issues. Keep in mind, most of these miniature breeds were created through selective breeding. Often that involves a fair amount of inbreeding to achieve a size, and as a result, genetic defects crop up more frequently in miniature breeds. Buying your animals from reputable breeders who check for these faults can help you avoid problems.
So when it comes to miniature breeds, you've got options. Often, miniature breeds are kept as pets, but many can be productive livestock producing meat, milk, eggs, fleece, and labor to go along with their good looks.
And while they bring some great benefits, especially to those who may or may not be blessed with lots of land, they have their own set of challenges as well. For many, the benefits outweigh the challenges, and minis are an integral part of their farm or homestead.
What are your thoughts on minis? Do you have a miniature breed you love? Let us know about it in the comments. Also, please let us know you liked the video by clicking that button for us. And finally, we hope that if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, you'll go ahead and do so. It's free and it helps us out a lot.
Thanks everyone, and happy hobby farming.